Eta, it's about that time again, of course, where you find us on our famous brown couches talking to the best that have done it in the game of football, be it the best coach you would have seen, a legendary player you would have seen. You've caught up with some of the best ones. I mean, we've spoken to Marks Gomen Goma Ponyane. We've spoken to Spiwesh Habalala. We've spoken to Majens himself. Today, we're speaking to arguably the greatest women's player South Africa has ever produced. I am in the presence of the top goal scorer of Banyana Banyana all time. You know her as Bashin. Portia Modisa. Portia, good morning, good afternoon actually, good day, good yonki into nje. Thank you so much for making the time, Blomanami.
Skim.
Umnanda
Skim.
Yeah.
Sanbonani.
Firstly, I want to say, on behalf of Football Faras, we're very sorry about what happened, but we know Gutinje into Yaziowena is bouncing back from everything that is terrible that happens to you.
Kufana ukuthi bathi mekumele kube ubani.
Yeah.
I think when you have that mentality, ukuthi you can't be special than wonke umuntu. As much as Nami, when I was parking my car, uPhephela hamba phezulu, I knew someone else was losing a car.
Yeah.
And for me, Nami, to be in that situation, I always remember those, they lost their car while my car was parking, and I was like, impilo yakho, like I said, good. Nchila nabanye, knowing good bathathela abanye. So I will say in mentality yokukhulekasa, I think again is strong to say, the special one, asibonga impilo. So more than anything angibonga impilo.
Yeah.
Lento le is just a material isazoyenzeka.
No, sibonga impilo stress. Sibonga umuntu sasekhona ukuthi abakhawatanga. And I think it brings me to then in the that we've always respected about you, abantu abafollowa iDiski from South Africa, is whenever you faced challenges, you always use that as inspiration to be better. When you didn't get an opportunity at the club that you had always dreamt of playing for, you came back 100 times more to come and show them ukuthi you should have. Nizomkhumbula. What has it always been about mentality yako to always bounce back so strong from our challenges?
I think it was a gift. The gift that uNkulunkulu angiphe lona, myself I couldn't ignore it. A lot of time bazongidropa ku national team bangibuyisa. And futhi also understanding ukuthi bakudropela ukuthi awu perform or bakudropela ukuthi you have a strong character. You challenging them in a way yokuthi they are not comfortable. They've never been challenged in that way. So I know ukuthi I was suppressed by me standing up, not just because there was a day that I was never consistent about my career, about my performance, Mamela. I was always consistent because I always knew ukuthi if I'm not gonna be consistent, so my goal was I need to be on top of my game. The more I'm on top of my game, more money my family will live. But go like I'm saying, even in football, guna mahams. You'll always think ukuthi you watch a men's game, you're like, Banempilo, Etiskini, they could pay their bills, they could have a family, they could get married, they could assist where they come from. You start to visualize that also to us, because when you're watching this thing, agna gender yamachita, agna gender yabuchira, la inte one this thing. And it's presented this thing in day one. So when you see that, you're thinking which it could be fair to both sides, then you realize which is this thing, I ko fair ngai. In a suppression, because I believe ukuthi they could make it. Abochira abantu nje kumele babe sekitchen bapheke, bakhinqiza ingosi, abuse at some point. When you're trying to make things as a woman out of your career, not begging anything, but putting the performance, putting the hard work, I don't think ukuthi, if there were a lot of maybe women in the power, seeing other women putting the effort like we did, probably we're gonna get the bus notice.
Yeah.
But just because we're surrounded by men, probably that was my thing. But listen, how can I show these men which we good? Although they don't see our achievement, I need to keep it in their face. Good, we can be good than men. And then it's not like we want to compete with our brothers.
Yeah.
We don't. But the leadership is putting us in the situation where you start wants to weigh things between men and women. But this thing is one, Joe. This thing, it doesn't divide nothing.
And cool,
cool, and it's what I always say, when I see my brothers playing there and having a good life, and while I'm doing the very same thing, I'm struggling. I'm like, one day they'll have girls.
Bafuna ukwenza yona dide.
One day they'll have girls, because footballers normally, that is why most of my footballers bazala ma footballers. Ne? And then most of them, they have girls who are playing. Now I'm starting to think, Kiri, they didn't think about it while they were still playing, to say, let it not be about us men. Can we help our sisters also, their game to grow? So when Tina, we start to have kids who can be like us, no matter and they can go play in the safest place. They didn't think that, but now they're starting to be worried and say, hey, posh, imagine because I never even heard you in your interview speaking about women's football.
Do you think ukringa kanje Posh? And when you started doing this, Kalukla national team, I think year 2000. 1993. Waretire ngo 15.
Yeah.
And all sikwazele yona besides ukora magoli.
Yeah.
Vocal.
Yeah.
Holo, and then wabona ngaro speeder, wabona ngaro you know too much.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you are saying, and you've always said already, that's why half the time they kept you out. Not because of Ukor, because Prata feel.
Yeah.
Do you feel now that if you didn't do that, if you were not this passion, Obuang, your career would have been a lot better. You would have been an analyst. Nobody SABC Leadership Super Sport. You would have been Safa Neto Unga, Yokenyeda, Neto two social coaching license. Do you feel like you would not have to have found yourself if you just shut up?
Kim, you're talking about the top goal scorer in Africa, the whole continent. You bring Udropa, you bring SCN, you bring Edo. I don't care what they played for Rabo Chelsea. We're talking international. Although they must bring their CV. Let me bring my CV. If the world, but it was fair. It was not about the gender. It was about your achievement. Let me tell you, I hit everyone. So, Mamela, just because this is me, I'm saying, I worked when I'm listening to Drogba, ACN, Ronaldo, Messi, how they put effort to be the best players that they became with the resources that they have. I put the same effort with no resources. There was no resources. I put the effort. When I come from the hotel coming back home, my resources from the club level are nothing. I knew I needed to put more extra effort just because I wanted to be the best player in Africa. Mamela, with nothing I achieved that. So, just because I'm saying, can I get the same recognition? They're like, Papa, you know why? Because you cheer. But if me out, 100% sure.
Okay, if no le cherry, if no le outi, ebuang so. Same vocal, same papa, same always challenging the system. But you were a man. Do you still feel like you wouldn't be this punished?
No, I don't think Mengs will punish, because every sponsor was gonna be on my side, wants to sponsor me just because of my record. I'm 100% sure Oguti, they were gonna give me that space to speak for the other generation, because I was gonna be popular in the way Oguti, my voice was gonna do a change to the outcoming generation. It was not gonna be so much against that are being suppressed. And the men, when they hear Guti, how they suppress us is no longer sweet to hear it. Sometimes this is us, we've been treating women like this. But it's okay when we find women who are not speaking loudly about it, they hide it. So it makes men comfortable. But when you find a woman like me who says,
So many things have been said about you, Portia. So many things have been said about you by both genders, old and young.
Yeah.
Peter. Oh, Peter, are you bitter that way now you never got picked up like Andy Lezamin? Are you bitter that when you never got celebrated like Janine Van Veek? Are you bitter that the continent is not making a noise about you the way they're making a noise about Desiree Ellis? Oh, Peter.
They were not going to celebrate all of those people if I didn't make a noise. All these people, they were not going to get the recognition if I didn't make a noise. You know why they're getting a recognition? Because they want to prove a point. Who made them to prove a point? Me speaking, everyone wants to show we can celebrate. Portia is lying. That's why I want them. The more they want to prove me a point wrong, they're doing the right things. So it favor who? Me, because I always wanted them to do the right thing. I want them to celebrate all the women soccer players. I want the women soccer players to get sponsors.
Okay, for the others.
Yeah.
I'm asking for you.
Yeah.
Are you better that you are not getting the sponsorships, the endorsements, the deals, because you are still the top goal scoring woman on the African continent with 100 goals? Ake kufana nawe.
Ejo mina dan kuthi ngibe bitter. No one will take that away. That's the Mamela. No one could take my achievement. It's something that I always wanted to say. Let me put a record that no one will never erase it. No bangathi bafuna ukungihate kangakanani, but record lami luzobila. They can't erase it, and I did it. So noma bangathi bangikwatela, noma bangathi abangikhulumisi, noma bangathi bayenzani. Mamela, at the end of the day, I'm speaking for your mntanakho wena ongakamzali. I'm speaking for all the kids who are in our communities that I wake up every day, I see they knock on my door, say, Posh, we wanna play women's football, go guy, go to school. Until I fight to see good women's football is getting paid the way it's supposed to. Yes, baby girl, juggle both. Go play. Go. I know good you'll get a salary. You can pause your studies and like about Jimita, why can't we do it, teenage women? Go to school, then and pause my dream at school, then focus on this one. When I'm done with this one, I know I have something that I can fall back to. I mean, this is what I fight for. Hey Joe, why am I be bitter? Bitter. Okay, as pilling fine. Probably people, they will say I'm bitter because I want to live in the suburb. And the tang lalam pitin, man. And the tang kizele shawen. And the tang yakaul and the tang ne family and the tang name pinch. And the what can't life family baby as go Instagram. Then basically in the sense. Let's say about maybe menginayo leonyo. Probably my enjoyment of spending my money was gonna help people. Building houses for people, building schools, building I have a mom that was disabled, probably building hospitals that will accommodate such people. Probably just not maybe mina mengizobabani lentwana le edlalela no Ronaldo today. Le Africa.
Oh, Sadio Mane.
Mengizoba Sadio Mane.
Ushayigela nje lapha.
Mina mengizoba Sadio Mane. I'm looking all these people that they have money. I'm thinking, what is it that you left in behind them? We see you on Instagram, but you don't have. I don't wish to be them. I wish differently. So that is why I will always fight for young generation. Because angeke ngihambe nalezi zinto noma ngingabhoda noma ungangipha manje ama-Lamborghini i5. What ke i5 into eyi-1 noma red, blue, purple into eyi-1. And ngizoyishiya as mebethi manje nginama-million mengizobhoda ibox lami mamela liyobe lingena lenye kuma ngifika ezulwini uNkulunkulu ungitshela ukuthi mamela ngiyobe ngi-one elinye ilandi ngakhi i-townhouse baba probably ngabe me-greedy mother maybe ngabe ngi-greedy. So it's ngikubonisa angekho greedy because sonke siyayishiya. How many people died that they were rich? We see their kids now, they don't have a meaning with their money. Imali zabo baba bayazidla sibona imali yaphela, but they don't do nothing. Yini engiwishayo lapho? Azi ngiwishayo ngifuna ukulala ngidlile. Ngifuna ukuba ne-family yami. I want to help people. I want to see other people do better. I'm not the only one here. Engifuna ukuba grand. So when I see other people ba okay, I know now I'm okay.
The Banyana Banyana that Portia Passion Modise left in 2015 to the Banyana Banyana now. It's 10 years since retirement next year. Hey, now I retire early in 41, 42. But the Banyana Banyana you left in 2015 and the Banyana Banyana you are now seeing today. How much credit must the South African Football Association, Banyana Banyana as an institution, and South Africa, how much credit must they give to you and what you did and said and sacrificed for itiski labantu besifazane libe la likhona namhlanje? Do you want to be given credit for ukuphapha nokuringa kakhulu nokuba ngumsindo nokulwa nabantu nokutshela abantu ukuthi we don't want tight fitting outfits?
I'm not sure Guti. That is why I confuse how to answer your question, because I feel good. I need the recognition by what I did. You know, I always say when you're a leader, you're a leader. You can be a leader. If you were born to be a leader, you'll lead everywhere. You can be any space, you'll always be a leader. So for me, I was born to be a leader. While I was playing for Banyana, I was a leader. I'm a leader at home. I'm a leader in my community. I'm a leader, Joe. I'm an example. I'm a role model everywhere. So I will say, if they want to really make me happy, can I see women's academies? Can I see professional women's football, not le yenzakalayo bathi women kunamateam angaholi. I don't want to see this thing that is happening. This is supposed to be NFD.
Super League.
Yeah, bese maybe PSL, ne? Bese kuba ne jointment nabo chiri kube na 2 official matches. That's how I got mina recognition, because when I started to play in 1993, there was no social media, there was no TVs. People, they will come early in the stadium, then we'll cutting race. People, that's when they started to know Pashin. I got a nickname. So I would say it could also change a lot of communities when we have 2 official matches playing women and men. Families, they will start to engage better. You'll take your kids, you'll take your wife, because now they will be supporting each Chiefs, yabo cherry, before the Chiefs, yama out. So I will say, if they want really to make me happy, bring that school sports. We see our kids, they have so much time today, to utilize smoking drugs. But they've got nothing to do. These are the things that we're trying to do under the ground in our communities to save lives that abantu bangaziborn, life abantu bangawuboni useless because they are not in the public eye. So I'm trying to say, I just want to see women's footballers getting recognition that they deserve. If it was not me, let it be them. I think that's when I'll find my joy, knowing Gucci. No bangangutela bangdlula jo ngithi ngibona uRefugee na shy Mustang yakhe angutela ngithi dayeng yenza happy ukuthi as much as I didn't get it, they didn't have to suffer the way I did. They didn't have to have a depression the way I did. They didn't have to really start to hate football the way I did, just because it was a beautiful game. It's just that people who are controlling this game, it's a bad thing. This is beautiful. This thing doesn't speak.
Yeah.
This thing doesn't speak. The only thing that it does, it brings people together. It changed people's lives. So for me, I don't think I've played my part. Onkolotayo ofila ukuthi angikolota ulo cabanga ukuthi I deserve better.
Unekwal Noria Litwaba.
Kabuhlungu.
Usanekwal Noria.
Cha.
Have you guys kissed and made up? Sending ngono manje?
Mamela umama kimi. And I don't think ukuthi ngimkwatele njengomzali. Ngasikhathi ngimkwatela njengomzali. When umncane unomzali that you expect ukuthi kube protection yakho. Bese akubeka ejangilini. It hurts because awukakabi namandla, awukakabi na power to stand for yourself. You still needed a guidance. When that guidance decides when it's time for you to grow up when you are not ready, I think that was my problem.
Did she explain to you? Has she ever explained to you, Guti, why did she handle the situation with women's football, with football in general, the way she did?
I wish Gucci, all people they had that when they see Gucci badly flop.
Yeah.
Babe nobuntu bazithobe the way they want us ukuthi sizithobe when sidli flop. Bakuhlalise phansi bakutshela ukuthi yazi intwana la 1 2 3 ngiyaxolisa nami that time mengaka grow it to that extent mengaka be perfect, because we understand ukuthi abantu abekho perfect, and probably sometimes you get power with rules. You're not getting power the way tina mesekubona ukuthi you have this power, maybe you can do 1 2 3 with that power, kanti that power is suppressed behind the scenes. So aligned us with yourself, ukuthi understand ukuthi ngasikhathi une-power is not like you had a freedom. So as much as we expected so much from you as kids, bantwana bami, I didn't have that voice. So I would love to see that, because but I will say, messing abantu abamnyama, it's like umama akho agenza something endlini wazi ukuthi mara umama manje buyochamaza la, but kube situation yokuthi kusasa seku okay now acceptile ukuthi I think uyazi ukuthi ubhedile for a fact ukuthi uyangiringisa.
Yeah.
But ngoba mdala ngeke.
Angeke athi yazini mdala ngibhedile.
Deep down ngiyamxolela.
Manje bathini basho ngeapartheid ukuthi black people have decided to forgive people who never asked for forgiveness.
Yeah.
So
I think we have done that. I with my situation right now, hijack. I think I had a situation. I needed some help nyana kumamri, and they gave me some help, and I'll always be grateful. It's what I'm saying. But for me, I felt ukuthi she wasted so much power that it was gonna uplift, women in sports. As a woman who had a power once being a vice president. If it was not about her, it became about the leadership. It became about people, not me benefiting. I think we're gonna be far from now. And it's not the only one, a woman that I think in Mkwatele. I will say every time young Babana Baba celebrating it. I wonder if I was in the leadership, I was gonna celebrate them, because I believe Gucci, there are a lot of people who needs to be celebrated for real, not for a lie, for real. Yes.
Who's being celebrated for lies? Who's not supposed to be celebrated?
I'm just saying, I'll see about friend. I'll see about Natasha. Then I'll be sitting, why I don't feel the same as a woman. And I was under their leadership in a young age, 13, until I retired. Why I didn't feel like these people? You know why? Because they were not in the same space. And they didn't ask us who can we celebrate. That when you saw Gucci uplifted your life, it meant so much and he was a role model. No one is asking us. People assume, they think, who can they celebrate? Under our sporting code.
Jelamin, you are saying friend Hilton Smith is not supposed to be celebrated. The way she's being celebrated. You don't agree.
I'm not saying Gucci she must not be celebrated. But abanga yenzi ngathi he was a hero in women's football.
Who was? Who is? Outside of Portia Modise, ngoba ngiyazi shebo ngiyazifonela wena, and within right. Who has really made an impact in the women's game?
Bit by bit.
Nje. Since when udlala idisk nje. Who do you look at and say ukuthi yazini yabona lo? Yeah.
Kwakunomunye sister mebethu uKidi Choma anelazi. La Sheshela border. I don't know. I always remember that woman in my head. I will always say, because we had the same heart. I'm sure ngabe mina naye we worked very peacefully because umuntu mekethanda iqiniso. Mekezongimpower mengeke scared of me because he fought before me for women's football. And akakazange judge. He understood we deserve better. So when after I lost that with the woman that I left with.
Portia, is there any truth to ukuthi wena no Desiree anibonani face to face?
Azange sababangani, gents.
Even during your playing days?
Azange sababangani. It was my teammate. Ask all the people who are playing in football. Akusabangani.
So ile nto leyo ukuthi
sihlanganiswe isibani.
So ile nto yokuthi manje masuphumile ngiqedile ngegame ngiqedile ngecamp omunye nomunye uyalaya khona.
Mamela singaba 25 in the team. I'll tell you, I have my best friend there, but at the same time I understand what I need to work together with these teammates. But if nginento ngiphethe I know who I can go to and speak to, and I know who will keep on my secret. But understanding in the working place, you need to be able to work with everyone because that is not your company, someone else's company, and you're not presenting you're presenting everyone.
But you don't have to be friends.
So no, I had my friends go high, so much friends in Club and football friends is about I don't think there's truth Mr. Spanning. Sometimes because you don't know my struggles. We can only accommodate each other, but I have friends. It could be very rare now with the skin basis we gel to that extent. Yes, my friend Ukabozit, my friend Veronica Peo, my friend Joanne Solomon. If I meet those people, I'm 100% sure we're gonna go crazy because we were Mamela Messi aligning in day one. We wanted to be stars. We share same goals even outside football. So we try to connect even no masingena camp. We'll try to visit each other even outside football. So those are my friends. But other than that, it doesn't say ukuthi ngoba ngidlalele Chiefs now ugqoke same tracksuit mele sibe impinch. No, mele sibe impinch grounding. As long as I understand what we need to deliver for the day. Mamela mina nawe simnandi. After that uziphathe grand ukuthi ngiyokubona kusasa ejimini nami ngiziphathe grand.
Manihlangana eSandton City nothing to do with football. Andlula ningathandazana.
Mina
Ngifuna ibehlele lapho ukuthi wena noDesiree
okay, ithi mina ngiyokubonisa Joe. Mina I don't think ngingandlula uDesiree, but uDesiree angangidlula. Ukhumbule mina ngifunction isichere. Yeah. Khumbule mina ngifunction isijida. Esijideni umuntu meke bed uyabheda. You know siyatshelana sho ntwana iyandlula because uyazi ukuthi I don't mean any harm. Esichereni kwala. Joe, bheka uDesiree bheka mina. Siphila impilo efanayo. Cha. You understand? So akunakuthi mina ngingaba nekwalo nosis Desiree. If anethi ngiyibeke ngenhlonipho ke manje. But asiringe ngespan. Utshela umuntu ukuthi indoda icamera yakho uyibeka Chrome njalo le TV le ivela so mesiyibukele iscreen sakho siyatsheka. Bese kumele singamtsheli. Kumele sikutshele ukuthi next time usibuyisa ngisibe straight sitale the way kumele sitala ngakhona. But wena mawungafuna ukutshelwa, it's unfortunate. I'm not going to keep quiet because this is not your only thing. You didn't build it alone. This legacy, you didn't build it alone. We were there. And after you stop, we continue, Tina, some of us, to build even a better legacy. So it's what I'm saying, Gucci. It will go to each and every legend that will get an opportunity. They say, he treats us the way we were treated. Mamela will have a problem with you. So by in your case, then the whole world will think there's something against now. Mamela ngakho personal now, but ngiyalento le esicreatile. Esithandayo. Mamela angeke ulale. Ngeke ukuphumuze. Ngizokulwisa until you do right.
So wena vele nje what you're saying ukuthi our reports and ngizothi our because now I'm part of media.
Yeah.
What we've spoken about regarding your relationship, not Desiree, for you, uyazikhulumela wena.
Yeah.
It's not personal.
Angekho personal.
Yena ngeke umkhulumele. So for yena, it could be personal.
For yena, it could be personal.
But
yeah.
when you are a football legend who loves football, women's football, wants to see women's football in this country going far. So mina mangibona ngathi screen sakho necamera kitshekile ngifuna ukuyishaya straight,
ngizokutshela and bheka. UDesiree tomorrow could not be a coach yabanyana. Isikhathi sakhe naso shaya. Ushiya iplatform enjani? Because for me it's about when I'm uqeda ukusuka, are we getting better or are we getting worse? What did you do with your time? Did we see you fighting the fights that we know, which they are there? But what we saw, we didn't see that. Bro, we didn't see that.
We've won COSAFA so many times. We've won AFCON. We've got to the World Cup, guy 2 naye. We got to the round of 16, first national team yet to get to the round of 16 of a World Cup. What do you mean we are not better than what we were before her?
It's a new jail. When without Vera Power, you're not gonna be able to put.
So yonke lento le Vera Power.
Yes, I was there. Into I build within a year.
So lento ahamba ngayo Desiree itaka Vera Power.
Ngithi uVera Power undlule friend. Undlule reality waba. Undlule all the people that they were here. That we've been singing. Wafika umfazi waseHolland. Because uphuma Europe, at least indlebe nyana yabakhona bamsabanyana. At least wakwazi ukumuvisa izinto nyana. Nathi safila in our veins ukuthi at least yazi siba better. Imali zethu zaqala zangena very quick. Sabona ukuthi at least kuba better. Without that woman, mamela ngilwile no Vera Power. Big time. I love that woman. Mamela out of our fights, maybe angazi ukuthi yena ufila kanjani ngami. But let me tell you, mina out of our fights, I love that woman. Because at least I stopped playing football. Noma at some point bagcine sebangisaba bangirethayisa very quick. But I appreciate Uvera because I saw her fights. At some point, Ukumule comes from Holland, he didn't understand what we're going through. Yes. At some point, too much. He started to get poisoned. Isn't those a change of futhi, you know? But how we started Novera, I'll say I'll give that woman. And Desiree was an assistant coach. And we saw who was fighting the fights. Desiree was my assistant coach. Ne? Under Vera Power. And I'm ngento engixoxelwa ubani. Ukhumbula, I wanted to be a coach after football. As much as I'm sitting there, they think we're stupid. Why are they coaching us? We're not stupid. We're sitting there and we're trying to learn. But mina ngizoba umuphi in all these coaches abangicoachile by 11 in my career. I want to be which one? And which one I want to pick up good things to them so I could instill it to the younger generation. And let me tell you, I'll pick up the good coaches. A coach that I will sit here and want to share the game, not want to own the game. Who understand, which as much as I'm a coach, I'm a leader. I'm not the boss of the game. I'm not playing the game. These guys, they are playing the game. I'm the guidant in the game. My importance as a coach, we need to be in the same line. They need to understand their job. Not me telling them how to go out there and play. No, I put the structure in the game. They need to align with the structure and go and perform. So when you start to want to own the game, probably I have a problem with you. Because without us, who are you leading? Who are you leading? So it's what's problem, it's what I've learned overseas, playing overseas, being for first time being treated as a professional women's soccer player, given a voice. No one was scared of me, saying it's okay to say how you feel. The coach will give me that space to say, coach, why I was not playing this weekend. Then the coach will never feel intimidated. The coach will say, Posh, sit here. You need to go and improve 1, 2, 3. Then we come back. Not our coaches when you come and say, coach, why I didn't play? Now you think you're big. When I push up this club, you can come here and ask us. Then you get dropped without being told. As in like now, no one will think about you anymore. You're still young, mong dropper. Tell me what, I need to go back home and work towards, say, I can get an opportunity again. But mong dropper, say you don't say anything, it's like, you're not gonna look at me anymore. So I don't want to be those coaches because I understand the effort and the passion that these girls, they put to make our work look like that we are good coaches. I was not going to coach myself. They need to respect also the players.
Yeah.
As much as they have a salary, without us, they were not going to have a salary. So this thing is by 11. So if we're not going to share this thing, you alone, you're not going to win. So it's been my cry to say, it's okay for footballers to speak out. A happy player, it's a performing player. And we're not going to play this game forever. I'm going to have retirement funds in football. So if these players, they're not going to get the contract that they deserve while they still have legs, what are we saying? We're saying what we're doing is useless. We're supposed really to invest to school. Bega, iskola sends along all of us.
Yeah.
Some of us who are talented, can we be given an opportunity to be respected towards our talent and get paid the way we supposed to? Overseas, Joe, I'm a player overseas. That was why they win the World Cup. That is why they're consistent, because they just working football. Umuntu has discipline. Umuntu can have a nutrition, could have a personal trainer. I can invest in my talent, knowing that I can be able to pay these people that will make me to perform for my country and stay disciplined. But this is us. Kusasa abantu bangibona ngisidudla, hayi uzinakekeli. Hey, nifuna ngenzeni ngoba ngidla ipapa nekhabishi nawo wonke umuntu, angikwazi ukuba nemuntu ozongiphekela uchef like abo Ronaldo, abo Messi. We're doing it out of difficult zones.
Yeah.
So I feel good we deserve respect because the money that we're getting paid with black tax. Hey baba, lama coxes now under 12 until Bafana or Banyana. There was someone sponsoring that from home. So it doesn't say good minangoba I made it, I need to forget where I come from. They are still my nephews, Abanyana need to nature and give back what it was instilled to me to become the person that I am.
Now, Bashin, when Anesafa Vela and Fatelani, we've seen this play out in public, and I think it's just really been the case with former footballers. But let's now look at SAFA in 5 years. Let's say the current SAFA leadership, bonke njabeko. And whatever leadership comes in, it's got a lot of former players, male and female, biologic game. And when I say a lot of former players, with all due respect to her, I'm not speaking Lydia Monyapao.
Yeah.
Because I think Lydia Monyapao, they've managed to, bring her onto the other side. She's a great woman. She's a great servant of football, but they still manage to bring you to the other side of running football the way they want to. We can't lie about that. Bafaka nina ke, abo siphapheni, basikhulumela. What would you want to see football look like in the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, especially women's football?
You know, you spoke about Lydia Mnyepao. In that, I'll leave Lydia Mnyepao and give Lydia Mnyepao a free role to do what is in her, and it's in her heart, because I know he's got so much that he can really represent women's football better if he's not being sorted somehow. But 5 years, if you give great footballers, not just any footballers, because they were legend, you know. I always say, Gary, even the name, I'm a legend, it always give us a problem, because they are legend of the club, they are international. You know, so you give those proper legends that they really deserve the seats. Then in those proper legends, I'm sure they played the game in the highest level. They understand which we need development structures, we need youth leagues, we need youth tournaments, we need to see our young players traveling overseas, also getting the experience in the young age. So when they come back, when they grow, you know, they could be better soldiers for Bafana, understanding in the game and the competition in the young age. When we need to have school sports, you know, whereby those school sports, our talent, we got about Dr. Kumalo, Abobani through schools, because schools, they have proper structures. You have the legends that I don't think even after 5 years you can put them in the same structure. Gosafa, even you can give footballers. But let's use those legends, you know. Every community's got a legend. Let's use those legends, put them in the schools that they can develop, you know, and make those kids understand which it aligns with the school. Don't take them out from the school, because when we manage these kids out of school, they think football it needs to be number one. But when we use school, these kids, they could understand, make a sport a project, a subject, those kids that they can get marks, they understand to be participating in sports. It's very important. It could be netball, it could be tennis, it could be rugby, it could be what, but I think that space, it could save a lot of kids being pregnant, baba goma drugs, because after school, ba chayisa ngo 2:30, babuyele khaya 5:30, 4:30. Maybe phuma babuyele khaya 4:30, akasena sikhathi sokuphuma sikuyisikhathi sama homework. Then we can save a lot of kids. Then you have 3 divisions, Cherry. You know, it could be ABSA, a small development, under 12, under Bani. Then you have the NFD. Then you have the professional one that it will motivate the ones about go ABSA, which we're playing to reach, you know, for that position, which not one day want to play, go PSL and qualify. And I do believe, which if we can also teach, you know, our young footballers how to sell the brand, how to carry themselves, how to use their social medias, man, in a better way that it could benefit them, you know, as footballers and as athletes, what to put, what not to put, you know. I think it's what I want to see if Tina, we can take over, make sure what Tina we've learned, no one taught us. Though the generation of today, we teach them earlier, Uguti, they mustn't miss the opportunities in their careers like we did. Because I do believe, Guti, if I got a proper development structure, like I do believe, Guti, ngabeng far. I went to Denmark. The structure that I saw there, I'm like, if I got to the structure like these kids, Bana Sesena 5. Hey. Oh, I'm sure I was going to be the first lady to be signed in the men's game.
So we never really got to see Portia Modise for who Portia Modise really was.
I think I've done my part. If you miss my career, come and watch me after football. I'm playing with the legend. Basa Kholi Bai to not today. I always say, this it's so unfortunate. Look, this thing was on me. You know, you know, I play with the guys even today. Abolaki, Abo Dog, Abo Simpiwe. I still stand out in the field. You know, people will say, Zlala now Portia. Oh, Gantu uyadlala ne Polala Machida. Best thing about confused. Guti Polala Bafana Linjan, Elamantomuzana Linjan. Can't we're not playing the same game. So in 5 years, that is what I want to see, giving kids out of sports bursaries, because there are a lot of kids who wants to really go to school. It's just that they come from disadvantaged homes, especially athletes, yeah, those are the things, Mina, that I want to see. I don't want to see myself being rich, to tell the honest truth. I think I just want to afford other than that and try to build a better South Africa through sports.
Mankala intro yamla, Mascale Ringas, I called you one of the greatest footballers we've ever created, and maybe even the greatest female footballer we've ever created.
Basha Basha.
Ngizokubuza ke mina, are you the greatest footballer South Africa has ever produced? Let's say female, ke.
Maihlukanis, yes, both.
Are you the
Maihlukanis.
greatest footballer South Africa has ever created?
Yes, my stats are saying it, not me. Go to my stats. My stats are saying it. Yes, but if ukwaba mnandi, you're not walking in the mall telling people are coming to you. I see a lot of footballers, they'll walk in the mall, bazibawusha na umnyango ukugcina bangabamisanga. Ngina 10 years ngiqeda ukudlala ibhola. Mamela, I'm still struggling to walk in the mall. 10 years. So it shows good people, they'll never forget what I've done. People, they still miss what they've saw in my career through me. When they see me, they still speak about memories that mean, and I'm self-amanyangwa, but people, they'll remind me of them. So that is why if you are the great, you don't have to tell people, they'll tell you, good push. You are the great than those who saying, I'm not
People
those.
will people
People are telling me, push. For me, that is the best moment ever when I meet people telling me what I've done, not me telling them what I've done.
That you got nominated for the 2005 FIFA World Player of the Year.
Ejo, mengikora my 102 goals. I was sitting waiting for Ronaldo walking in, scoring 100 and something goals. While I was still sitting, I'm thinking, it's so unfortunate. People, they will never understand what they've produced as South African into eyabo that they can celebrate, but they like to celebrate into zangaphandle. But we must blame him. Probably it's how we were raised. We don't have to appreciate each other as black people, because when we appreciate each other as black people, it feels like it's a threat. It seems like we were raised under that thing. But I would say, if Tina were there, having people abafana posha, like the girl is doing well. I'm not sure which will break my record, but when the girl is done, it needs to be celebrated. Because he've done it in a bigger stage. He've done it go World Cup. It carried us, although we didn't manage, to cross to the last 16. But at the same time, I'm saying the South Africans, they are impossible. As much as if you funatina see cross it to the last 16, we do mama resources at home. These girls, they've searched everything that they have to get here. But if we had all the women teams, they have Kaizer Chiefs Village, let's say we lose to the last 16, let's say we complain, please. Yeah. But we don't have these villages. We don't have nothing. As women footballers, in last 16, Daily Pirates, Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, with all the resources from their clubs. I'm not talking when they're going for the national team. That is the bonus. But from their club level, they are professional. It simply says it's even worse when they're going for Bafan. They fail to qualify for AFCON. They fail to go to the second round of the World Cup. You asking us with no pay, with nothing. We even going to the taxis. Yeah, going to the last 16. You're still not satisfied. And in South Africa. Kanti umuntu mele baze bayenzeni namantombazana to get your support and your love. Mele baze bayenzeni.
Niwini AFCON. Mangabe ngizoWin AFCON.
Janse senikhohliwe. Yazi ngake ngawisha eliphilanga. Mebebuya ku World Cup. Lapha airport. Baba yenzile lesa stand nyana. Ngawisha ngathi I was there. Ngithi ngibezongiphuma bangibambe angazi bangilahlela kanjani ngaphandle bakhohlwe nokuthi yimi engiphethe gold medal. Because that I felt good. For me, that was the moment to speak with the president, to speak with the minister, to speak with the SAFA president. from the bottom of my heart, tell them I was struggling to even get this gold medal. You know what we went through. It's time for us to get a better. Mamelu President, Mamelu Cyril wayengeka walk lapha yangakayenzi any promise.
As make sure ukuthi he's
After
anike yona.
after so 32 or to 35 years, us struggling in women's football. This was ukhumbule, I was playing for this thinking ukuthi if I can win some trophy or some gold medal, going home, probably they will start to take us serious. While I was still playing, that was my wish. I see Abo Khatlana going all out, the young generation, and get this medal that I was wishing for. Thinking when I have this medal, I will be starting to treat it differently as South Africa as an athlete. I see these girls getting this medal, they're still treated the same, they're still fighting for their money. I'm like, Opunem. These people, they have kids. As much as they have kids, they're working so hard, to get whatever that they have. One, they can be proud of their kids and say, my kid, you're working so hard. But under their leadership, Bona, as our leaders, they're suppressing us. They don't see nothing good out of us as their kids. It's all about power. It's about greedy. Ejo, that pisses me off. I want these people to see us as their kids that are going to work, putting effort every day. If your kid, you're not going to give your kid, after putting so much hard work, a 50 rand, why are you giving it to me? Selfish. Selfish as an adult.
Have you ever gotten the chance to ukuyitshela iSAFA leadership all of this? Face to face?
Ubani ungangipha lo chance? Ubani?
No, just 2 minutes nyana.
Uba-
Hlangana nabo somewhere.
Mamela ubani
Kuba
ungangipha?
event.
Ubani ungangipha?
Ubambe ngesandla nje uTenijo down uthi leadership.
Ubani ungangipha lo chance? Instead bangitshela ukuthi wena is always fighting. Because that's why no one wants to listen to me to understand what I'm saying. Everyone ufuna ungimamela ngama emotion protecting why they benefit. That's the problem. When you want to listen to me just because you want to protect someone, yes, in your bed. Yes, I'm talking rubbish. But if you want to listen to me just because you have the same goal to fix, to do right, to be a good leader, you'll understand what I'm saying. I'm listening to our new minister, Mamela Nganywa.
Mara.
I'm 100% sure if it was another minister, 50 people, they were going to be Goma Olympics unless they were eating bananas, eating everything, not doing nothing, just to be there, to be cheerleaders. But people who are supposed to be there, they were not going to be there. But my minister says, hey, are you jumping when? Are you running? Why are you going there? Stay here. Let athletes go. Let people who say, who will have a better advice to go and motivate this athlete and go up there and go and get the gold medal. These athletes, when they come back, they need to be celebrated and given a better check because they deserve it. They worked hard. That is why I love my minister McKinsey. I'm 100% sure ukuthi ngiyambona uyalithandivar. This is what we've been waiting for. Umuntu omdala that is willing to hear the truth. Ongeka feel ngathi when you've been told the truth, you're being disrespected. So I'm asking myself, ukuthi labo time if mekuyithama lami ngabe ucontrol kokort ngiyakube right. Because if lama time allow, they can't even search themselves and say and raise a hand and say, but we've been doing wrong, guys. How can we change? Let's change. Instead, they still see us as wrong people. No, there's something wrong.
So you feel ukuthi Gating is uzanayo.
Akenze jo, izanabo. I once said, there are footballers who are gonna put an impact. When we see Mama Joy ahlele kuma stand, I'm thinking, why someone that could help the team to win was not going? Mama Joy goes as a fan. Mama Joy get paid as a fan. I'm thinking, if it was a legend, the only privilege was gonna get ukulala hotel ne breakfast ne dinner ne transport. Bese bathi akufani sukuse kuma Olympics. Wow. Bese when you speak about these things, push your pap.
Peter.
I'm bitter. Angekho bitter. I'm just saying ukuthi let's do right.
Bashin, 2024 Banyana squad. Current generation, the current team.
Yeah.
Masingaringi umuntu leader.
Yeah.
Sesiringile ke le
Yeah.
But the team itself this year,
Mm.
they are the reigning African champions.
Mm.
Ubona bayiphinda lady. Are you happy with this team? Are you happy with these girls? Are you happy with what they've achieved in the last team since 2019?
To tell you the truth, I mean, I'm happy the way this young generation has been doing and representing us. The problem is, I always say, Guru, the problem is not the players. The problem is the structure of women's football. I will always say that, Guru, to be consistent and take the Africa Cup of Nations again after winning it, it's not going to be easy because other countries are improving. They're investing. They're starting to invest now in women's football. You find a lot of their players playing Europe, and I'm not talking playing for college. I'm talking about them playing for proper teams, Barcelona that are getting paid. And you're looking our players mostly that are going to play overseas. They are not really getting the strong teams that we want to see them playing. Of course, it's a start, it's like a development, but I do believe if we can strategize our women's football proper in this generation that is coming after us, that with the talent that we have, I do believe we can have more players who can play in these bigger teams, one day overseas, and our national team could be better and know how to compete, and be consistent winning, and also consistent winning, qualifying to the World Cup. Ukhumbule Nigeria, they are not people who can eat them now. Bese next year they're not gonna put effort. You see their under 19 also is doing well. Those are the players they will take over, to the first team. Now you're looking our development space, our under 19, our under 15, you like how they've been giving a treatment. These are the players that they will be able now to take over the Banyana one day, so for me, it's about, I used to say, Kerry, you watch the class of 1986 when they took the Africa Cup of Nations. Did you see the under 23 after them? There was a hope. You always had a faith. Yoguchi after Abu Dog, Guzabo Simpre Shabalala, Guzabo Ban, Abu Sulunyana, Guzabo Ban, we knew Gucci there's a replacement. Now where's the under 23? Where are they playing? Where's the under 17? Where are they playing? Now the only now young players, we see them from their clubs. We don't see them from the national team to say Chiefs. Now we can trace. Now we see them from their clubs. Now we say they are ready for what? The national team. But they haven't presented the smaller side to get the experience, so they could understand when they get the promotion for a first team, what is it that is expected from them. So my thing is, I will never say these girls are doing bad. These girls are doing so well. These girls are doing so well. It's also up to the coaches how they select. With a number that we have today, women's soccer players. I think Sundowns is also good players. If you open your heart, you select just because of marriage, I'm 100% sure we'll be able to go and compete and try to win it AFCON again. But if you're gonna go out there and select, at least you are but if you're gonna go there and say, I want to see every province, I want to see every club, I just want in. If you heard the coach Sundowns, Mangoba said, Sundowns is a big team. I think every player that has been given a contract, they know what they need to deliver for Sundowns. It's not about me, So I think I will be that coach. Oguti, I'll sign you just because you're good. Then I will love you after. Then I'm not gonna love you based on it. I can nurture you. Hey, I don't have that time. It's a national team. Yeah, I need to love your career first, your game. Then it's now, I can love you as Umuntu. I think you need to start there So with us, we people will complain just because, fans, I always say, fans are the most important things, but nabo babathathe ngathi they are no longer important. Without them, I don't think we're gonna be people that we are. Without their support, I don't think we're gonna strive to deliver every day, because they always put that pressure to us to say, Ish, I know my fans, if I'm not performing today, they'll be nabo, they playing a role somehow, and they know their players. Sometimes I think you just have to give them a chance just to listen. I'm not saying take everything that they say, but just to listen. You can learn one or two. But see, I feel good. See, also our fans, they just being fans these days. About Stadium, no one cares about how they feel, but we really need to care how they feel, because they follow football only lot the footballers. To tell you the honest truth, they know so much about the game. But other than that, I will say the leadership, Joe. I would say respect, it's about time to give young ones an opportunity to lead the game. Give us an opportunity to fail. It's okay, because Nani, we gave you the opportunity to fail. They have grandchildren, angazuzu, but I go holiday. They must go, it's about time. All the money that they have is Osala. If they could understand that, which is Osala, with no memories. Someone said, when maybe totally accident, maybe hijack, while I'm sitting there, the flashbacks, it was not about the car, it was not about the legal chosen that I have, it was about the love, the people that I will leave behind, the memories that I have with them. So I'm asking myself, with these people, when they leave Zemali, the day, Ushona, what did you do? Because you didn't even bring this money with you. What did you do? Sizokhumbula ngani? Because I'm not saying ukuthi wonke umuntu angithande, angisinge imali, but I'm saying love me just because ngento engiyenza. Ungangithandi ngempilo yami yasestradeni. Probably impilo yami yasestradeni will never be perfect. Angeke ichaze, because I'm a human being.
Yeah.
But ngale I was assigned to do. By uNkulunkulu. Ngishayile, bro, with no fail. Nginirespectile, ngashaya with no fail. And ngaze ngaphuma ephepheni nekandala. I respected people. Even today, I still do. Because I always say people, but push I could discipline. If I was not disciplined, how I was gonna do it? Because now, ngithi sibabonile abangekho discipline benzeni. Baphuzile, badropa, badla imali zabo, baba broke, baba kuba nayiprowithi, bayenzani. Wakwangibona mina kulezo zinto. Uyangibona mina njani, ngephuza face man. I'm still taking care of myself, because I'm still a role model, I'm still a leader. Where I go, I know there are a lot of kids who are looking up to me. So I will always be that role model. I'll always be that legend. When you're speaking about the legend, I know when those kids bati legends, I know I even have a voice for them. I'm not just a legend just because I played. Some of them, they didn't see me playing.
But they know. They've heard the name.
They know. You understand? Ngangugulisha, babona. So if I broke these records just to take all my experience and if I guess Kwame, then I was a useless person. I didn't know why I wanted to break these records. I'm very selfish and I don't want to be a selfish person.
It doesn't get better than that. Portia. Ngiyabonga mfethu.
Bonga mina.
Ngiyabonga.
Ngiyabonga nani lapha emakhaya.
Portia Bashin Modise, in her own words, the greatest footballer South Africa has ever produced. A legend in her own right. All of the records she's broken and all of the goals she's scored, she's not done it for herself. She's done it for her country. She doesn't want to be a selfish legend. She wants to be known to be someone that has done so much for South Africa. Of course, this is going to be a conversation you're going to love. So we want you to head on over, of course, and subscribe and like if you haven't. And check out all the other conversations we've had with all of our legends right here on Football Faras.